everyone, Ken's Wild with Wild Child Horsemanship, and welcome back to our channel.
A little ponytail girl grown up to be a woman, now she's gone in a blink of an eye. She left the studs in a bucket and her clothes hanging out on the line.
In today's YouTube video, we are going to be doing our monthly barn vlog, and we're going to document Farrier Day. Beginning with the equipment we typically use on Farrier Day, we have our rasp, our hoof pick, hoof knife, our nippers, our hoof stand, as well as a pair of chaps to just help make my life a little bit easier. Here I am in my chaps. So we're starting today off with Filio. Now, to kind of just begin, a lot of people hire a farrier to actually come and do their horse's hooves, whether their horse is shod or barefoot or whatever else it may be. People hire a farrier, and there's people who do this for a job and for a living, and I used to be the exact same way. I'd hire somebody to come and do my horse's hooves, and then I started training horses, and specifically a lot of really traumatized, flighty, and aggressive horses, and I struggled to find farriers who were patient enough to put up with that, right? And don't get me wrong, their job is hard enough already. The last thing I want to do is throw some crazy rank ass colt on them that's never had their fucking hooves done before. And so because I started having this struggle, I decided that I wanted to start interning under a bunch of different local farriers, learn the basics of hoof trimming and hoof care, and all that fun stuff so that I could trim my client horses as well as my own horses. Not only has this saved me a lot of money, but this has also saved me a lot of time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears, because when I do have these aggressive horses or these fearful horses, the last thing I want to do is make that first trim or those first few trims a traumatizing experience. And so being able to take the time it takes to actually work on this horse, even if that means I only get one hoof a day, and I just, take 4 days to do all 4 hooves, and so be it. But this has allowed me to help a lot of horses just because I'm able to be patient, get their hooves trimmed in the time that they need it, and I'm not running on a schedule because I don't have like 20 other fucking horses lined up. I just have my horses and my client horses. So I basically just learned how to trim hooves myself. I do not know how to do shoes. I can pull a shoe, but I cannot put a shoe on a horse. I will fully admit that. I'm just a barefoot trimmer. I basically just do my own horses and client horses when I have them. Next up, we're moving on to Mr. Legend. So a couple pieces of advice I want to tell anybody who is potentially thinking about pursuing a farrier as a career. It's a lot of work, right? Not only is this a lot of strain on your body, not just your back, but your head and your knees and your legs. Like, every part of you is going to hurt. Every part of me already does hurt, but it is what it is. But you're also going to come across people who just really aren't smart, right? Don't get me wrong, there's a time to be firm and a time to be gentle, but you'll have these people who have created treat monsters with their horses because they don't know how to apply positive reinforcement correctly. I've got nothing against positive reinforcement, but a lot of people cannot do it correctly. So not only do we have that as a concern, but we'll have people who have all these rank ass horses who just expect you to magically be able to trim them and not want you to use sedation. And so, not only is it hard on the body, it is hard on your mental and your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, and you just come across people that you really don't want to have as clients. Real quick, I want to show you guys this wonderful hoof knife. It is created by one of my good friends and a local farrier in the area. It is called the Hoofy. The company is called Horse Iron. I'll put the link to it in the description for any of you guys who may or may not be interested. I really love this knife. So now I'm done with Legend, and I'm going to move on to Miss Delilah. The biggest thing I want to point out is that you have to do what's best for each individual horse. There's this massive debate out there about whether horses having shoes is better or horses being barefoot is better or whatever the hell else people talk about. It's just one of the many, many debates of the equine industry. And to be honest with you, I have learned through experience that any horse can go barefoot as long as you rehab them correctly, because not all horses are rehabbed. They just pull their shoes and hope and pray that the horse ends up okay. But the biggest thing to keep in mind is that you do what's right for the horse, okay? Depending on what discipline you're doing, what sport you're doing, what type of riding, just no matter what you're doing at all, what works for the horse is what matters most. Not other people's opinions, not debates within the equine industry. You do what works. I've also seen shoes, like corrective shoeing, make absolutely phenomenal changes for a horse's life. So whatever works for the horse is what is most important. Now that I have finished trimming Miss Delilah, we have one last horse that I'm not doing today, and that is Miss Rebel. Rebel has been a several year long project, and while she is slowly getting in her saddle, doing her hooves can typically be a 2 to 3 hour long process. Typically, I have to do her fronts one day, her hinds another day, and every once in a while, I will still sedate her, just to make sure they get done, because I really don't want to spend hours just trying to get her finished. So, we're going to save her for another day. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this YouTube video and all the little rambles that came along with it. So if you've not already, please hit the red subscribe button. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and podcasts available wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay strong, stay true, stay wild, and I'll see y'all next time.